Welcome back to Entangled Observations. I just finished my video on how we get more intelligent as we get older. And it got me thinking, this ageism that we have in society where we want to shuffle off and dispose of the old people in our society, it's a psyop. It's not normal for society to be like this. And we have been trained like this. I'm older. I grew up watching All in the Family with my parents. And I remember Meathead and Lisa and Archie and Edith. And I remember how make fun of Archie and Edith because they were set in their ways. They didn't know what they were doing. They had old methods of doing things. They suffered different prejudices or whatever the hell it was. And so they were making fun of old people. And that was really one of the first times in history that had ever been done. And it's a psyop. I mean, honestly, you're going to find out as my channel progresses, just about everything's a psyop. And this definitely was. And if a psyop is like a psychological operation on your own people, wherein a deep state, which just means the embedded bureaucracy of a society, manipulates the population, and they can do it through grants and subsidies and applications and so forth that get processed are allowed. There's all kinds of ways the deep state can manipulate. But there's an intention behind, say, like the CIA or the FBI or the NSA or CSIS. This never existed before in history. And the thing is that All in the Family was part of that psyop, in my opinion. I read something to the effect of it, that it actually was, that it received government money, but I don't know about that, and I don't know where my source is. But suffice it to say, it's obvious that it was a psyop, because it was trying to undermine the authority of parents. And you have to ask, cui bono? Well, obviously leaders do. I mean, if you can undermine the older population and you can get the youth to rally against them and not listen to them, is there any better divide and conquer than that? So who benefits? The deep state definitely benefits. Politicians benefit. You could even say government benefits. But who doesn't benefit? Well, civilization doesn't benefit. I mean, we are currently in free fall. You don't have to agree with me that we're in free fall. I'll just let the earth hit your ass. Because we're in free fall. And you can read all about other civilizations that have collapsed before us, and this is exactly what it looks like. And I'm talking about Western civilization. I mean Europe, I mean Canada, I mean the US, right? Australia. We're collapsing fast. And why? Well, I think, honestly, it's because of so many psyops. And if you don't believe in psyops, just go Google Northwoods. Right? Northwoods Project. I mean, that's... And I will get into that in a video, because that is a deep one. And so... this ageism that we're suffering from right now, this ageism that is literally destroying us, because when we have this kind of ageism and kids don't listen to their parents, and if you watch television shows, like if you watch kids shows in particular, and I did this with my daughter, it was one of the reasons I cut the cord when she was 4, when we just didn't watch TV anymore. Because I sat down with her. She was acting up, and I sat down with her because she was in just this incredible mood. I sat down, and there was a show on. I think it was like Fairly Odd Parents or something like that. I don't remember. It was just one of her shows that she always watched, and I sat there and I watched it with her. Now, I had just finished reading a book. What was it? It was it'll come to me in a minute. And so I had an inkling of what was going on, but back then, it's quite a while ago. I didn't know for sure. Not like I do now. And so I sat down and watched the show. And the show was all about how stupid the parents were and how smart the kids were. Kids aren't smart. They don't know anything. You can't tell kids they're smart. You can't, because they're not. They're just not. They think quickly, but they don't have any experience. They don't have any breadth or depth to their lives yet. All they know is what's been put into them. And so you take something like the deep state, right? Now, universities obviously are part of the deep state, right? And if you know anything, you know how infiltrated they've been since about the 30s by communism. And so what you're setting the kids up for when they're watching this television and they go to university and they get their heads all filled up from communists who have all these crazy ideas. And I know, I watch their stuff on YouTube. I'm watching. I see it. I know what communism is. And it's worse. It's Maoism, it's Bolshevikism. It's all kinds of crap that they're shoving down these kids' throats. And they won't listen to the parents. And they go away feeling empowered. And yeah, capitalism is the problem. Yeah, really? Did capitalism kill 100 million people last century? I don't think so. It lifted most people out of poverty by this century. Now, so what I'm saying is that this ageism that we're experiencing, this shuffle, the old guys off to the old folks' home when they're at their absolute peak for problem solving, when they have this incredible experience of life that they could share if kids would just trust them for 2 seconds, but they've been trained not to. And so what happens? Well, you have a society in collapse. You have a society in free fall. And that's what we're suffering from. And so in my last video, where I was talking about how we get more intelligent with age, or at least we get better at problem solving, if you like to think of it that way, which is an intelligence, well, we just shuffle them all off, or worse. And as I said in there, it's the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed for a civilization. It's just absolutely absurd that we would do this. But it was designed. It was designed this way so that the next generations don't know anything. You can just program them. You send them to these universities, they get programmed with whatever bullshit that they want to program with, and they come out convinced they know everything. Old people are stupid. And what happens? Like if you take Rome, for example, which Rome was a republic, right? And now all republics have a life expectancy. So I'm going to use the States here. I'm not talking about Canada. But you look at the life of a republic. Rome was almost 500 years they had existed. For 500 years almost. And then Caesar showed up. Now, we all know about Rome after Caesar, but we don't know about Rome before Caesar, when they actually had a functioning republic for almost 500 years. So what's different about ours, right? What's different about our world? Well, it's these psyops, and there's so many of them. And they're designed to break us apart, to break up the family. And it's not communism. I know communism doesn't like families and they want to break it up because they consider families property and yada, 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 whatever. A bunch of dumbasses. But the reason they're breaking it up is because the deep state desires power. Politicians desire power. And that's where this ageism comes from. It doesn't come from any kind of reality. It doesn't come from any actual evidence that there's some reason we ought to be putting the old folks out to pasture. And you might say, oh yeah, you're just saying all this because look at you, you're obviously getting older. No, I'm not. That's not why. I've known this actually for quite a while. Well before I was middle-aged, I realized this was going on. This is, and And am I feeling it now? No, I'm not. I'm really lucky. I've got a daughter that actually will talk to me and communicate with me. I'm incredibly lucky. And maybe it's because I cut the cord so young. I mean, I watched that and I was just like, I'm not letting this in my house. There's no way. This shit's evil. And it is. So, yeah, I just wanted to make this as an addendum to my first video. Because in that video, I didn't really show how this is a planned process, and all you have to do if you want to see how it's a planned, Confessions of a Hitman. That's the name of the book. See, I told you. This is how the old brain works, right? Eventually, it comes to me. Yeah, Confessions of a Corporate Hitman. I think that's what it was. I could go find it somewhere, but it's something like that. Anyway, it discussed it. Also, May Man Prevail, Eric Fromm, that explained a great deal. I have a lot of issues with that book, but some parts of that book are absolutely brilliant. Highly recommend that you read it. So, yeah, these are sort of, this is some of the stuff that alerted me. But I mean, the biggest alert that I had was just sitting down and watching the damn TV and going, what in the hell are they trying to teach my daughter? What are they doing? So I got rid of it. And almost instantly it all cleared up and it's been fine. She's fantastic. Like, she's yeah. Anyway. So that's what I'm trying to point out. And I will continue to make additional videos because this is just a snippet of the kind of stuff. And as I say, if you want proof and evidence that this is some kind of psyop, this is some kind of conspiracy, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you need that, just sit down and watch TV. Just sit down and watch the older shows, how they used to interact with their parents, how they used to react to authority, what they thought of authority, that they could learn from it, that they respected it. And then you go back to All in the Family and then proceed up from that and watch how the shows. And you'll see, and there's a whole world of psychology behind it that you can investigate. There's all the aspects of the shows, the way they're designed to help advertisers sell to children, like getting to they even classify the parents. Like there's ways of getting children to get things from their parents, like begging with importance. Oh, Mom, it's educational. I'll learn from it. There's the we can play it together. They do all of this on these TV shows, and they have this deep psychology to make it all work. And it is utterly destroying the fabric of our society. And I don't know what the solution is. I mean, definitely cutting the cord is a big part of it. Getting rid of advertising. Watch as few ads as you possibly can. I know that's a huge aspect of it. Read. I have a whole video about how important that is coming up. It's intensely important. So that's the main message here of this. I just wanted to do an addendum, explain how this ageism, I explored why it's not true, but this is why it's happening. It's planned. Our society's being destroyed by psychopaths, and it's really important that we don't let it get destroyed this way. Right, thank you. That's my video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll leave a like and subscribe and all that jazz, and till next time, talk to you later. Bye.